You know, you will see it's not just a physical change. The fact that more roads are being built and more buildings are being built, the fact that more cars on the road. I mean, all that is there. The real difference today is the fact that in very fundamental ways, the needs of the people are being effectively addressed especially using technology. The fact that during COVID, a social safety net for 800 million people could be created on food or on finance for 400 million people. The fact that today we are trying to create a national health system. A health system, 15 years ago people would have told you a national health system is only for high-income countries, and even high-income countries struggle with it. In fact, if you look at India today, because there's a digital backbone on which this is riding, it could be health, it could be insurance, it could be pension, it could be farmer support, it could be home ownership, it could be loans for business. All of this is happening really at a scale and an effectiveness that you cannot conceive of if you do not make a visit, and make a visit preferably outside a city so that you are actually able to see what is happening. That's how I would say. Now, the question, how do you get, how can a physician's talent be leveraged? Look, the country can today do with the experiences and the knowledge and the insights of others. I mean, there could be technology insights, there could be medical experiences, there could be organizational skills. Even when we did the massive toilet scheme, I mean, you would be surprised how many people were motivated to go back home and say, okay, in my village, I will build 100 toilets. And one of the reasons this happened on such a scale was people waited. So at the end of the day, there were 2-3 passages I read. I mean, Lataji's was one. I think Dr. Barai's remark was also this, that you cannot, India will change, yes, but India will change much slower if it is government policy. India will change much faster if you can fire up, if you can ignite the enthusiasm of people. And I think that the people who live outside India know things, there's a lot that they can bring to bear. And certainly on medical, I would say even expanding the number of medical institutions in India is actually today a very big part of the agenda.
Absolutely. Dr. Jaishankar, we have an eclectic audience here, so the questions are also from a remarkable range. Madhukar wants to know, could you tell us any difficult situation you felt in your career, your long career, where you had to struggle to defend India?
I put the person who asked the question stand up for a minute.
Madhukar.
I'll tell you why. I just wanted to validate my assumption that you are a much younger person than me. And the reason I say this is, there was a time when you actually had to struggle every day to get your point of view across.
Wow.
So I know that this question came from a younger person because they are in an era where, since we have arrived, they're used to people knowing about India. There's a respect for India. There's you say I'm from this place. Okay, they know what you're talking about. So I'm telling you, this town, when I first came here in 1984, I mean, you actually had to explain to people where you're from. I mean, a simple example will tell you. I mean, there were no Indian restaurants. I mean, so they didn't know your food. I mean, how do they, where do they start placing you? And my first stint actually at the embassy was doing, one of the responsibilities was going to the Congress. And again, when you say, did you struggle to defend India? We used to struggle to get into people's offices. I mean, because that was not the image we had, that was not the respect we had. We didn't count in American calculations at that point of time. So, honest answer, I mean, I spent most of my life, professional life, actually in a period where we were sort of going up the ladder. It was a daily struggle every day. And remember, we were a much poorer country. I mean, today, people would not, I speak to younger colleagues, they don't believe what we were paid. And it wasn't just, in the government. I mean, even people who went out, I mean, there was a time when the foreign exchange allowances per day was $37 or something like that. So, this is a country which has worked very hard for 50, 60 years. I mean, we are in India at 75 today. 75 years was not like this. We've really picked ourselves by the bootstraps and worked our way up. And it has reflected itself in the diplomacy and politics, and it's because we have sharp elbows and sort of held our own, even when we didn't have the resources that we have today. But precisely for that reason today, I would say it's important to establish our place, our weight, our influence, our opinions in the world. It's, that's how it's